Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K collector on a bright, sunny Saturday morning. I'm not sure if you can hear the birds chirping, but they are up and alive and well. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good day. Feeling very optimistic, but I do have some sad news. Unfortunately, I had to cancel two of my orders with GameStop because it didn't look like they had the items in stock. And I kind of had a feeling that that was going to happen. I'm somewhat disappointed, but it's okay. I had ordered two games on the NES, one being Silver Surfer, the other being Shadow of the Ninja. And I thought I was going to be able to get them, but they've had it on pretty much on a pending availability status for about a week now. And so I'm going to just cancel those orders so I can get the funds back and then use that potentially at a local game store. I've been watching some videos and I've been looking at some of these pickup videos recently, and I'm finding that both game collectors and resellers aren't really finding that much in the wild these days. And it looks like more folks are resorting to picking up things other than video games to resell. I'm seeing folks buy furniture. I'm seeing folks buy clothing, different random electronics, cameras, just anything that they can get their hands on that they can net some type of a profit, whether it be to just be able to profit or whether it be to be able to buy more video games. And I don't know if that's a trend that we're going to see throughout the entire peak collecting season, but it seems like the opportunities that we used to see are not the same. I don't want to say things are drying up because I feel like as soon as I say that, I then turn around and see about 5 more videos where folks are coming up with incredible finds out in the wild. But it seems like there's more of, we're seeing two extremes, right? Either the folks that are having these yard sales are completely clueless and don't know anything about what they're selling and they're just letting it go for pennies on the dollar, literally, or the folks at these yard sales are, they know what they have, they're charging eBay prices, if not more, and they're really not willing to negotiate. I'm not really seeing a lot of just standard yard sales where people are charging like normal yard sale prices and then they're being negotiated down. Now, in other news, online opportunities are not completely gone, but I've been wondering if it makes sense. Does it make more sense to travel to pick up retro games if you don't have any in your area, or does it just make more sense to pay shipping and handling and order them online? And I think that's the challenge that a few folks, both collectors and resellers are having to deal with, because you're going to pay either way, right? So I think it just depends on you and what you do. If you're into creating content, like if you're a content creator, if you're on YouTube and you kind of do this as like a part-time thing, then the travel aspect is always cool, because then you can film yourself driving, you can take great B-roll shots, you can film the interaction, and it makes for a great YouTube video, right? But if you are not that and you are just a straight up collector, you keep to yourself, a lot of times perhaps buying online is going to make more sense than driving 3 hours. You got to factor in the time value, the gas, the wear and tear, all that stuff. And then odds are when you get to wherever it is you're going, they're probably going to charge you pretty much just as much as you would have paid had you purchased it online, because I feel like the in-person sales and the online sales are like the gap between what you would pay online versus what you would pay in person is closing. And so does it really pay to travel far? And I'm not counting game conventions, because obviously game conventions, you get more, you get the experience, the camaraderie, you get to, see people, build relationships, network, things like that. But just in the raw sense of buying a video game, does it make sense to travel, unless you're just really intrigued by a retro game store and you just want to go and check the store out? I'm interested to know what you all think about that. You can let me know down in the comments. Does it make more sense to travel to pick up your video games, or do you think it just makes more sense to purchase it online if you're not going to get that much of a deal? Now, in other news, I have been able to make some sales on Mercari, so I'm gonna see at this will probably some of my first sales with the changes. So I want to see as a seller if I'm able to keep more money in my pocket from the sales, because if not, I'm really going to be annoyed. The whole purpose of these changes were so that I assume sellers would keep more profits and not have to pay as much in selling fees. So my expectation when I ship this out and I get my rating and the sale completes, that I'll get closer to what I actually charged than what I would have gotten before once Mercari took their cut of the deal. So it seems like some people are still willing to buy on Mercari. And I guess just as the market adjusts and normalizes for the opportunities when it comes to buying and selling video games, I guess we'll see how that plays out over the next 6 months. For me, I've had a huge purchase, a huge haul, during GameStop's buy two, get one. And then not just during that, but also just at my local game stores and stuff like that. I added a total of 9 NES games and a total of another 9 Super Nintendo games. So that's 12 games between the Super Nintendo and the NES, 164 game, 2 Game Boy Color games, and then an original Game Boy game. So definitely went in on the retro with that. And that's what it's about for me for this year. Not saying that you won't see me pick up certain PS3 games if they're cheap enough, or certain PS4 games if they pique my interest. But for me this year, it's mostly about the retro. And I'm actually going after some of the lower end NES games, but the lower end games that are fun. So, and these are games that really range between the $8 and $12 range. I'm talking Ninja Gaiden 2, the Ninja Turtles games on the NES, the Batman games on the NES. These are just games that just get, for whatever reason, are still cheap when you compare them to other retro games. And I think these are the games that I want to clean up on. These are games that are overlooked, for sure on the NES, and these ones are the ones that I think I'm probably going to put more of my attention to. A lot of bang for buck, really great old school games. The nostalgia bug has bitten me again. I'm not going to go too crazy, but if I happen to find some of these out in the wild, then I'm definitely going to take advantage. But let me know down in the comments, do you think it makes more sense in today's collecting environment to travel to pick up certain games, or do you think you get just as much bang for buck when you go online or on eBay? I'm interested to know. It's a bright and sunny Saturday. Get up, get out there, see what's out there, enjoy the day, spend some time with family. I think tonight is the last night we'll see LeBron play for this season, so I'm definitely going to get some popcorn out. I'm anticipating a loss, but it'll be the last time I get to see LBJ play, so if you're into basketball, stay tuned for that. It's the Y2K Collector. I'll be back talking with you this afternoon. Take it easy.